Students, this is the solution video for the MJ 2019 paper 2-3. As usual, please refer to the timestamps available in the description below for specific questions, and you can pause the video to copy down the working, as I'll be working through the solutions continuously, so there will be no breaks in between. Without further ado, let's begin. So for our first set of questions, we have 1.8972 correct to 3 decimal places. So from here, we're going to have 2 decimal places. So we're going to check the number here. This number is greater than 5. So this number is going to add by 1 and 9 becomes 10 as well. So the front number will become 1.90, right? Correct to 2 decimal places. So from 2, factorize 2x squared minus x. So they have only x in common. No numbers, both terms can't divide by any number. So it'll be x, 2x minus 1, right? So in part 3, Julio's reaction time is measured in 2 games. In the first game, his reaction time is 1/3 of a second. Second game, his reaction time is 1/8 of a second. Find the difference between his reaction times. So we can just take 1/3 minus 1/8. And then from here, we can multiply both terms by their respective denominators. They can share because there's no, you can't change one of the denominators to the other. So 8/24 minus 3/24. So that will be 5/24. So that is the difference in the reaction times. Difference stands for subtraction, yeah, in case some of you are still wondering. So for number 4, we have the table shows different methods of travel for 20 people going to work: car, walk, bike, bus. So which type of average, mean, median, or mode can be used for this information? So in this case, we will take the mode, because all of this, if we can't take average because there's no average, this is just method of travel. So everything, there are 4 different methods. So the average won't mean anything. The median also won't mean anything. And the average also won't mean anything. So ultimately speaking, the mode can tell us the mode can tell us specifically which mode of transportation the people prefer to take. So in this case, the car is the mode line in that sense. So we take mode because mode is we are able to analyze something from the data. So moving on to question number 5. So for number 5, let's put it on here first. So from here, find the coordinates of the point where the line y equals 3x minus 8 crosses the y-axis. So it is just the y-intercept here. So that's 0, -8. So for B, write down the gradient of this line y equals 3x minus 8. Gradient is 3. So in part 6a, calculate -12 divide -2. So double negative is positive. 12 divided 2 is 6, which is 6. And then for part B, we can use our calculator for this. So it's 2 to the power of 3 plus 2 cube root of that answer. And that will give us 2.15 correct to 3 significant figures. Then from here, we go to question number 7. So for number 7, they're asking us from the list of numbers, they ask us to choose a prime number and an irrational number. So again, prime number, we can just look at the integer values here, which one are prime. So 21, 31, 51. So 51 is not a prime number. 21 is also not a prime number because both can divide by 3. So only 31 is a prime number. So we're done. So an irrational number is basically a number that cannot be written as a fraction, right? So any fraction or decimal answer is out, right? And any integer is out as well. So in this case, 2/3 is out, 0.7 is also out. And square root of 1 can be written as 11, so this is out. So square root of 13 is only written as square root of 13. So in other words, the answer is square root of 13 in this case. So moving on to number 8. So for number 8, we have a correlation type question as they provided a scatter diagram. So from here, from the scatter diagram, we have number of people and number of phones in each building. So from here, right, one of the buildings contains 42 people. Write down the number of phone in this building. So from here, we can see it's a point on this line here. 42 is related to 32. Sorry, it's not curve. So drew it wrongly. So this is 42. Corresponding y coordinate is 40. That's 32. So answer for the first one is 32. So what type of correlation is shown in the scatter diagram? If you draw a line of best fit, something like this, you can see it's going upwards. So this is a positive correlation, right? So that's for part B. So moving on to your next few questions, starting from number 9. So for number 9, we have using a calculator, work out 12 to 35 times 709, so we can just multiply immediately. If you don't want to multiply too big, you can always just divide slowly first. So 7 and 35 can divide. 7 divided 7 is 1, 35 divided 7 is 5. Then 3 divided by 9 is 3, 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So from here, 4 times 1 is 4, 5 times 3 is 15, and that's our final answer. So the second question, 2w plus h equals to p, make w the subject. So from here, I'm going to divide both sides by 2, so w plus h equals to p over 2, and then subtract h on both sides, so p over 2 minus h. So this is w as a subject. So the next part, complete the statement, 18m cubed plus 9m squared plus 14m plus 7 equals to 9m squared plus 7 multiplied by what? Right. So from here, they've already given us one of the multiplications here already. So in other words, we can try to roughly think about what makes the next term. The next set of terms here, we can think just focusing on the 18m cubed term, right? It means that nm squared multiplied by this term should give you 18m cubed. In other words, this term can be 2m. And then we can just put b lah, right? I don't know what b is, but I can just put it like that first. So if I expand nm squared plus 7, 2m plus b, I know this works because nm squared times 2m gives us 18m cubed guaranteed. So this would be 9m squared b plus 14m plus 7b. So you notice that from here, if I compare what my expansion with the question, 18m cubed 9m squared plus 14m plus 7, you'll notice that the b would be 1 because see the constants totally nothing happened to it, right? So in other words, b has to be 1. So this here would be 2m plus 1 in that sense. So I didn't guess the first term. I know what it was because I know I need to make from n squared and 9m squared. I must make an 18m cubed. So I have to multiply it by 2m. And then from there, I use multiplication and I compared the expansion that I got with the expansion that I was given. And then I can evaluate what b was in this case. So that's done for number 11. So number 12, we have sector of circle, right? Pretty big one. So from here, sector is given as follows, radius 66.2, sector and so on and so forth. Calculate the angle, the area of the sector. So for this case, we have area of sector formula, which is given to us as, not given, but more like remember as x over 360 times pi r squared. It's just pi r squared with the angle that we are looking at. So from here, angle is 217 over 360 times by pi times by the radius squared, which is 6.2 squared. So from here, it is just purely calculated work after writing the working down. So that will give us 72.8 cm squared, correct to 3 significant figures. And then moving on to question number 13. So for number 13, we have pyramid. So this is a pyramid. All the sides are congruent isosceles. So write down the number of planes of symmetry of this. So these are all isosceles triangle and the bottom is a square. So in other words, you can create a couple of shapes, right? In this case. So in other words, I could split this entire shape into half, means I just cut it right through the middle like this. Right, these planes of symmetry, at least for three-dimensional shape. So if you imagine it, I can cut, or let's just draw the square out. This is the square, 4x4, and this is the sky view. This is the aerial view of the pyramid. This is me looking from above. That means I'm looking from this perspective. Now, if I want to split the shape up, there are actually a few ways I can split it up. The first way I can split it up is that I can split it, cut through here. I will get exactly two sides the same. If I cut through here also, I get two sides the same. If I cut through here also, I get two sides the same. And if I cut through here also, I get two sides the same. Right? So in other words, there are 4 planes of symmetry for the pyramid because I can cut it in 4 different directions. So putting it all together, you can cut like that, you can cut like this, and like this, right? So this is how we look at it. There are 4 planes of symmetry. These for 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So for part B, using ruler and compass only, construct an accurate drawing of one of the triangular faces. So one of the triangular faces is 60 and 4, 6, and 6, right? So the end goal is that they don't allow us to use a protractor, yeah? So we must use ruler and compass only. It's very simple. So first of all, what you're going to do is that you're going to take your ruler and then you're going to draw the base of the triangle. So to draw the base of the triangle, you just measure your compass 4 cm, and then you can start off with a basic line first, right? Just draw this as long as you want first. So on your ruler, put your needle on 0, put your pencil on 4. So from here, after you measure it out, you're going to put your needle somewhere on the line here, and then you're going to make an incision on somewhere around here. Like you make an arch like this. So this is 4 cm, right? Now, after you have done this, what you're going to do is that the length on the side is 6 and 6, right, for the triangle, and this is 4. So now you're going to measure out 6 cm on your compass. So again, you're going to put your needle on this point here. Now it's green. You're going to cut here. This will be 6 cm long. And then you're going to do the same thing here. Put your needle on this incision that you made, and then you're going to cut to make a cross. So once you have completed the cross, you're going to connect all these 3 points together, 1, 2, and 3. And then from there, you can erase the excess lines here. You can erase the excessive lines here, and you can erase the excessive line here. And you're done. This is completed with using just compass and protractor. Compass and ruler. Right, so that's that. So in question 14, one solution of the equation. One solution of the equation ax squared plus a equals 150, x equals to 7. Find the value of a, right? So in this case, one of the solution is 7. So ax squared plus a equals to 150. When x equals to 7, so a times 7 squared plus a equals to 150. 49a plus a equals 150. 50a equals 150. A equals to 3. So straight away we have a equals to 3. So find the other solution. So now we're going to plug a into the equation. So it is 3x squared plus 3 equals to 150. Everything divided by 3 is x squared plus 1 equals to 50. So x squared equals to 49. So x equals to plus minus 7. Therefore, the other solution is x equals to negative 7 in this case. So that's done there. So next portion is a is the 0.712, b is the lane 2, negative 1, find the length. So for number 15, all you need to do is just apply Pythagoras theorem from here. So it's just x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. You may choose the order of the coordinates, but don't change the order. So it's 7 minus 2 squared plus 12 minus negative 1 squared. So that would be square root of 5 squared plus 13 squared. So that would simply be, in exact form, that would be square root of 194, or you can write in decimals, 13.9 for 3 significant figures. So moving on to question 16. So for question 16, they have a equals to 10 and b h equals to 4. Actually, I should go this here a bit because it's a bit in the way. Right. Okay. So from here, a is correct to the nearest whole number, and h is 4 also correct to the nearest whole number. In other words, a upper is going to be 10.5, a lower is going to be 9.5. In other words, h upper is also going to be 4.5 and h lower is going to be 3.5, right? So we want to find the upper of b. To find the upper of b, because these two are the numerators, we're going to take a larger value for it. So a equals to b upper times by h upper, right? To find the upper bound. So from here, oh, sorry. They asked us to find upper bound for b. So in other words, this is a equals to b times h. If we make b the subject first, over 2. So that would be 2a equals to b times h. So b equals to 2a over h. So I rearrange the equation first so it's easier to tell which is upper, which is lower. So in this case, you want the b to be larger. You must make this larger. You must make this smaller. So in other words, b equals to 2a upper over h lower. So this would be b equals to 2 times 10.5 over h lower is 3.5. So b equals to 6. So this is the upper bound for b, 6. So we have number 17 and 18 as well. So from here, x cubed plus 5x squared over x squared minus 25, give your answer in single fraction. So you have x cubed plus 5x squared over x squared minus 25. So we work with the numerator first. They have x squared in common. So you're left with x squared bracket x plus 5, holding over x squared minus 25. So we can break down the bottom as well. So it'll be x squared minus 25. We can break it into x minus 5, x plus 5 because of this relationship. If you recall, a squared minus b squared equals to a minus b, a plus b. By this point, you should memorize this already. Please make an effort to memorize it because this is very useful in the exam. So x plus 5 and x plus 5 can cancel. So we are just left x squared with x minus 5. And that is for 17. So for 18, y is inversely proportional to the square of x plus 1. So y inversely proportional to 1 over x plus 1 squared. So we know that y equals to k over x plus 1 squared. So since y is 0.875 and x is 1, so from here we have 0.875 equals to k over 2 squared, or in other words, k equals to 0.875 times 4. So that would be 3.5. So our equation would be y equals to 3.5 over x plus 1 squared. And then from there, we can calculate. So sorry, I forgot to change color earlier, so it may look like it's clashing a little bit, yeah? So x equals to 4, so y equals to 3.5 over 4 plus 1 squared. Y equals to 3.5 over 25. So that would be 0.14. And that's our final answer for question 18. So for question 19, so we have the circles. So we have set of circles to work with. JKLM are points on the circumference of a circle of diameter JL. So this portion is a diameter, yeah, just to keep in mind. So since this is our diameter, so JL and KM intersect at F. So JNK equals 104 in angle MLJ is 22. So work out the value of D. Now, from here, we can use our circle theorems to help us a little bit first to start. Now, since we know that this one, we are looking for D specifically. So since we know that JL is the diameter, immediately we know that for this triangle here, there is a 90-degree right here. This is a right angle triangle. We have one concept down here already. So because we know this, we also know what is this. Right? This angle here is going to be 180, or I should put angle MJL equals to 180 minus 90 minus 22. So that is 90 minus 22 is 68 degrees. So this is 68. So if you pay attention as well, this is also our butterfly rule. So this is butterfly, 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 butterfly. So this is 68 as well, right? And we know that 104 minus 180, 180 minus 104 here, this would be 76. So in other words, D equals to 180 minus 68 minus 76. And then from here, we can solve. So that is 36 degrees. So that's our value for D, right? So that's done for 19. So moving on to 20A. So it's a Venn diagram question for number 20. So we have 40 children who ask if they have a computer or a phone or both. Venn diagram shows the results. A child is chosen at random from the children who have a computer. So that means our focus area is here. So write down the probability that the children also has a phone. So in other words, you're looking at this. So it's just 8 over 15. Because 7 plus 8 is 15 as the total, yeah? So complete the Venn diagram. do not have phone, do not have computer, and don't have both lah. So this is have computer, have phone, and don't have both. So in other words, this is the one that doesn't have both. So straight away, I can put the 2 here, right? So does not have a computer. So from the computer, the person who doesn't have a computer is basically here lah, right? So this would be 23. Whereas the person who doesn't have a phone would be here. So this is 7. And the person who has both will be outside now. So 8 is here. So we're just swapping out the positions between the Venn diagram and yeah, not much that are special. So in part B, they ask us to shape. So to shape from here, we go from left to right, A union B first. So A union B prime. So I'm just going to color A and B prime together first. So I'm just going to color it first randomly, right? And the final answer, the final part, they ask us to intersect C. So if you look at it, the only place that intersects C is here. Everything else doesn't touch C. So in other words, my answer is only the red region. Everything else is gone. I can't really erase it perfectly, but I hope you know what I'm talking about. We are only interested in the region that is shaded within C only. So only this part is left, right? Can't really erase very nicely on paint, unfortunately, right? So there's it. So remember, intersect is shade is erase, union is shade more, right? So we are just left with that red region at the end. So you may skip 21 because 21 is not relevant. And then lastly, for our next question will be number 22. So for number 22, it's another vector question. So we have a vector where ABCD is parallelogram, n is a point on DD such that Dn and D is 4 to 1. So it means this is 4 parts and this is 1 thing, right? And then AB is S, AD is T. So find DD. So we have BD as BA plus AD. So in other words, BA is negative S and AD is T. And then we're done. Finished. So that's for A. And then for B is CN. So CN is just CD plus DN. So CD is just the opposite of BA, right? Because CD is in this direction, it's a parallelogram. So it's just the opposite direction of AB, which is BA. And then DN is 1 over 5 of DB, right? Why 1 over 5? Because this whole thing consists of 5 parts, and this is only one part of the 5. So from here, BA is negative S, and DB in this case would be the reverse of BD, which is S minus T. So it's negative S plus 1 over 5S minus 1 over 5T. So that is negative 4 over 5S minus 1 over 5T. Right. Sorry, my S looks like a 5, but you can repeat the portion again if if you are confused with what I'm doing here. So for question 23, we have an ogive or cumulative frequency diagram. So from the cumulative frequency diagram, they ask us to find the median and the interquartile range. So the median is just the middle. So the middle of what? Precisely, it is the middle of the frequency. So in other words, the total frequency, total CF is 160. Therefore, the median is going to be half of 160, which is at 80. So we're going to draw a line from 80 to the curve. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. So this is 80. And then it goes down from here. So that is a little bit hard to see. I can't really see it very well, but that should be 5, I think, not mistaken. So basically your median is 5, right? Whereas for your interquartile range, our Q3 is basically 3/4 of 160, and that's 120, whereas our Q1 is 1/4 of 160, which is 40, right? So we're gonna take 120 and 40. I'll do it in green. So 120 first. This one is for the upper quartile. So that's about 5.8 lah, I think. So your Q3 is 5.8. And then your Q1 is going to be towards 40. So 40 is here. And then somewhere around here. And then touches somewhere around here. So that's about 3.4-ish, around 3.4. So Q1 is 3.4. So from here, therefore, our interquartile range would simply be 5.8 minus 3.4. So that is 2.4. So that is for our part A1 and 2. So we will need the next part to calculate our B as well to complete the frequency table. So this is a result of cumulative frequency already. So all we need to do is just work out what we have. So from 0 to 2, we take 20. So they go 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10. So in other words, if I were to take out the cumulative, another copy of the cumulative frequency diagram as well, so just to make it a bit clearer. So 0 to 2 is already given 20. So now we look at 2 to 4. So from 2 to 4, right, we can measure out. This is exactly at 20. And then for 4, this go all the way up to about 40, 46, like that, right? So in other words, this is cumulative frequency, yeah? So you take 46 minus 20. So it's actually 26. So it's 26, right? And then from here, for 4 to 6, you're going to draw again higher up. So 4 to 6 goes all the way up here. So that's about 118. So it's 118. So we will take 118 minus 20 minus 26. Because we have to erase the previous two frequencies here. So 118 minus 20 minus 26 would be 72. So that's 72. So that's our table filled up. So moving on to 24. So for 24, we have a graphing question. So from here, we're going to draw outlines. So they gave us y less than equals 2, x less than 3, y less than equals to x plus 4. So y less than 2, we just need to draw, pretend all the symbols are equals first. So y equals to 2 is here to start, right? And then in blue, I'm going to do x less than 3 or x equals to 3 in this manner. So x equals to 3 is here. And then finally in green, I'm going to do the line. So line is y equals x plus 4. I can use any two coordinates. So the first coordinate I think is the y-intercept 4. Another coordinate is, let's say, x equals to 1, y equals to 1 plus 4, so y equals to 5. So it's 1, 5 for the next one. So all I need to do is just draw a line connecting these points together, right? And then I can draw up as well, right? So this is a straight line done. Now from here, what I can do is that I'm going to shade the unwanted region. So starting from the left, y equals to 2, they want less than equals to 2, so I'm going to shade above because this is the part I don't want. So I shade above. So x less than 3 is shading to the left. I don't want the region to the right. So I'm going to shade the right. And then lastly, y less than equals to x plus 4. I don't want the region that is, I want the region that's below the line. I don't want the one above. So I shade the rest above here. So the only region I have left is this blank region here, which is R. This is my R, right? And that is 24 solved. So moving on to 25, our last question. So for 25, we have the two regular pentagons. So both are pentagons in this respect. And they ask us to find out the angle of AEK. So AEK is that portion there, right? So to start, what I can do is that this is a line K to E. This is an enlargement with center O. So in other words, this is aligned with this, right? They are all aligned, yeah? They are positioned closer to the center. In other words, right, when you are going towards the center like this, you actually split your angle in half. So in other words, this portion here will be half, or these two will add up to become 108, because in our pentagon, we have n minus 2 times 180 over n. So that would be 5 minus 2 times 180 over 5. This is for interior angle of pentagon. So that would be 108 degrees. So when you split this in half, this will be 54, and this will also be 54, right? So if this is 54, and then I can draw another line here, this is also 54. And then I know that this angle and this angle are the same. I can call this x, I can call this x as well. So in other words, 2x plus 54 plus 54 equals to 360. So we have 2x plus 108 equals to 360. 2x equals to 252. Therefore, x equals to 126 degrees, right? So angle AEK is also 126 degrees. So that is done for part A. So part B, area of pentagon FGHK is this. Area of pentagon, this is 6. Ratio of the perimeter. Find the ratio of the perimeter of the pentagon to the perimeter of the pentagon in its simplest form. So we are looking at the scale factor, yeah? So the scale factor will work like this. We are just going to work with area of the big pentagon over the area of the small pentagon, right? So to create the ratio in terms of length, all we need to do is just we need to square root this ratio. So we're going to square root 73.5 over, how much is that? 6. So square root of 73.5 over 6. So we do 73.5 divided by 6 first. That would be 49 over 4. So that would be square root will be 7 over 2. So 7 is the bigger pentagon, it's the smaller pentagon. So they want FGHJK against ABCDE, means bigger against smaller. So therefore the ratio would simply be 7:2. That's done from big to small. So that's all for the MG 1923 paper. I'll see you all soon. Good luck for your preparation.